Well, howdy there, folks. This is your host, idjester. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thanks for checking out my video. I really do appreciate it. We're going to be looking today at one of my most beloved series of games ever, Heroes of Might and Magic. And this one in particular is version 6. So yes, there is 6 games in this series, and unfortunately, I think the series is kind of winding down with popularity in the last couple editions there. I know 6, although it was kind of mixed reviews. I know 5 wasn't highly rated or anything either. I know Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and Heroes of Might and Magic 4 were, well received, really well liked. And the feeling I think about Heroes of Might and Magic 5 and 6, and the reason they're not getting as much love as they deserve, is they've been kind of using the same formula for their game, and they've been updating the graphics and updating how they do things and all that. But the basic combat system and the way the actual strategic land play rules kind of work, I think a lot of people are kind of turned off on that because they really haven't updated these. And what I'm talking about is basically in this game you're going to be having a building, part of a town, and then you're going to be exploring around, and then you're going to be coming up against enemies, and you're going to be fighting them with your units that you have recruited from your town. And each building will recruit different units and such. The only problem with that is all your units basically come into play on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or I guess they call it day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and then day 7, and then on day 1 again you can recruit all your new creatures for the week. And so it's kind of like a weekly recruitment that you have. And I think that was great back in the Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and the 4 days, but I think people are looking for more out of it now with 5th edition and the 6th edition. And I don't think a lot of people really love this game or like this series as much as popular as it was back in the day. I'm really hoping, I know they're working on Heroes of Might and Magic 7. I'm really hoping they decide to change some of that. I know they've been changing things here and there. For example, Heroes of Might and Magic 6, instead of having like 10 resources on the map, you only have 4 resources. I'm not sure that was a great addition, actually. When you have more resources on the map, there's more to fight over. When I only have a couple resources on the map, it doesn't give us as much really to fight over. So I'm not sure that was such a great addition. But looks, details, sound, music, graphic, everything else about this game is absolutely 100% beautiful. I mean, you can just hear the sound in the background. It just has that fantasy overture going on, and it really gets in the mood to play. This is one of these strategy games that is like, okay, one more turn. All right, yep, one more turn. Yep, one more turn. And before you know it, 4 hours has gone by, and you look up, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're like, damn, I was supposed to be in bed 2 hours ago. So, yeah, this is one of those games. It's really fun. It's really addictive. And I just want to play a little bit to show you guys what's going on. Like I said, it's not perfect. I know they're working on Heroes of Might and Magic 7. Hopefully, the game will take a turn for the better. I know, like I said, the last couple games hasn't been well received, but you can just see the level of detail and love and animations and everything that has gone into this. They've offshooted this into basically they've taken the really interesting world and the history of the world. They've fleshed all that out through all these games from Heroes Might and Magic 1 through 6. And you have different timelines of the world to play. Some of the heroes come back. I think Heroes of Might and Magic 7 is actually going to be taking place in between the timeline that happens between Heroes of Might and Magic 5 and Heroes of Might and Magic 6. So that's a little weird, but I think Heroes of Might and Magic 6 is kind of the end of the timeline. and then they decided to go back with Heroes of Might and Magic 7 and kind of put it in between the timeline of Heroes of Might and Magic 5 and Heroes of Might and Magic 6. So those players that are very dedicated to the series really know a lot about the history, the lore, and everything. You know, there's a lot of information you can encompass about that. There was just so many really good moments. Actually, the introductory video on this game is probably one of the best I've ever seen in any game out there. I would probably rate it probably top 5. So they definitely put a lot of time, trouble, and effort in. The animations in the game and everything are really good. In fact, they have a card game that you can play now that's kind of based on the Heroes of Might and Magic world there, and that's a very good game as well. So yeah, let's take a look at this. What I thought we'd do here, there is a lot to really talk about. There is a lot of content that comes with this game. Now, keep in mind that the Pirates of the Savage Seas, Dace Macabre, and the Dungeon Campaign, and the Necropolis Campaign 2, I believe these are all part of the expansions. So if you don't have the expansions, you probably won't have these. You start off with the tutorial campaign, and this is, I guess, one of the really things that kind of aggravates people, and it almost aggravates me too. And even though I love this game, I love this series, I love this franchise, I love everything about it. No, I shouldn't say everything about it. Most things about it. There are a few things that just, it would be, I think, as a strategy game and a turn-based fantasy strategy game that, you know, is another one of those like Civilization where it's like, oh my god, I just want to try and get this guy's town. I just want to capture this guy's town. And, you know, a 10-minute job turns into 2 hours, and before you know it, it's like, oh my god, 2 hours has gone by, which is one of the best things about this series. And as I mentioned, there are a few issues. I think the whole recruit enemies once per week kind of takes some of the strategy out of the game. I can understand it. The other thing that kind of, I guess, infuriates people, and this doesn't go with just Heroes of Might and Magic 6, but a lot of the games out there where you basically start with the game locked. Everything's locked except for, you know, your tutorial campaign or maybe mission 1 or whatever it happens to be for your game, and the rest of it's locked, and you can't actually undo anything else until you've completed mission number 1. And then once you complete mission 1, then mission 2 unlocks, and you still don't have access to everything else. And I think that really is a turnoff for a lot of players, and maybe that's why a lot of players were not very happy with this game, because as you can see, we have the tutorial campaign and everything else is locked. Now these are unlocked because, like I mentioned, these are expansion packs that you purchase that have new campaigns, new characters, new monsters, new heroes, and all that. But unfortunately, you can see we have here that you have to finish the prologue in order to play this faction campaign. Hey, let me guess, you have to finish the prologue, so you can't have to. If you want to play any of these specific faction campaigns, you have to go through the tutorial campaign. And let me tell you, folks, I am on normal here. And I'm a veteran of this series. I probably played more hours of Heroes of Might and Magic series, put more hours into it than I put into any other series ever in my computer history of playing games. I've got, I can't even tell you the amount of hours that I have in Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and 4 specifically. I didn't play that much of 5. I wasn't a big fan of 5. The look, the feel, the storyline, all of it kind of just, I really wanted to try and love it. But again, it's one of these things where I'm kind of one of these players out there that love the 3 and love the 4 because it was a great adventure game and stuff. But we're talking, that was probably, what, 5-10 years ago, maybe, by now? And the computer programming and the computer games are so much more evolved that when this series doesn't evolve with the group, You don't keep the same audience entertained, and you don't introduce new people to it. It's kind of like I say the Harry Potter movies. If you go back and watch the Harry Potter movies, me and my wife were talking about this a while ago, and I'll kind of use the same analogy. If you go back and watch the Harry Potter movies, the first one is very placid and very low key, and then as you start getting into Harry Potter 2, it's a little bit more story involved, a little more deep, it's a little more dark. When you start getting into 3 and 4, Harry Potter 3 and 4 and 5, now you're talking, there's much intrigue going on, there's much suspense, there's danger, there's the unknown going on out there. And then obviously when you get to Harry Potter 6 and Harry Potter 7, you're talking, very, high suspense, high range of danger, more of an adult theme, more, life and death situations and stuff. You don't see that in Harry Potter 1. And that's because the people that were watching Harry Potter 1 and Harry Potter 2, obviously they were growing older. And to keep the same audience entertained and to keep them interested in the series, as this series grew through the years, they had to add in the things for those people that were getting older and kind of progressing through their lives, and keep them interested. If Harry Potter 1 and Harry Potter 7 were about the same, the people that got to probably Harry Potter 4 and Harry Potter 5 would be like, it's not that much fun anymore. It's just not interesting. It's, I kind of outgrew it, and that's the way life is. And I really think Heroes of Might and Magic needs to reevaluate their situation and kind of say to themselves, where do we stand in this series? What are we going to do with it? Are we going to evolve and try to keep those people interested? Like I say, movies and computer games are very interrelated in how they act, and the people that use them, and the people that watch them, and the people that are interested in them. And now that I'm older and my time is limited, I don't have time to be running around playing the games that aren't as good as they should be, and so now it's very picky and choosy. You have to be a really good game to keep people interested anymore. And if you're using the same format as you did last year, people aren't going to be interested. That's kind of the biggest complaint people have with like the Madden series, or the NHL, 2015, 2014, through 2013. Every year they come out with a new Madden game or a new NHL game or an NBA game, and they're not evolving and they're not keeping their audience, and people are just not interested anymore. They're not buying them as much as they should unless they are progressing the game. If all they're doing is reskinning it, adding a few new sound effects, and throwing it on the market for another $60, people are going, I'm not buying that. I'll just play the one from last year. So I think Heroes of Might and Magic needs to step back and do the same thing and kind of, reevaluate where they want to go as a franchise. I think if they come out with another game of the series that doesn't evolve the complexity of the game, doesn't evolve and change the way things are done, I don't think, I think Heroes of Might and Magic 7 might be the last one of that, because if they're, I think they're losing part of the audience by not evolving properly through the years. And stuff like this is just turning more people off as well. Now, there is a lot of cool things that they've added to 6. And I will show you just a couple minutes. We will talk about those. The additions to things that are really cool. But this thing, if I buy this game for, say, $40, $50 when it comes out, and I got all this stuff that's locked, and the only thing I can play is the tutorial campaign, of course it's going to be kind of a turnoff for me. Now, okay, yeah, I'll play through the tutorial, and it's not going to be that big a deal, but maybe I want to jump in and play something else. Then you can't do that. So I think a lot of people might buy the game, try a couple of the tutorial campaigns, which of course tutorial campaigns are notorious for being utter crap. Just boring basics. And it's going to, people that got to play through the tutorial, you're forcing people to play through them, and you're giving them crappy scenarios with boring things to do, boring cutscenes, just not You're not opening up the whole game. You know, you're restricted. You can only build, you know, 3 buildings. That's all you're allowed to build is like 3 buildings. You can't build all the way up to tier 4. You can't build all these awesome structures. You can't get all these awesome creatures built. You can only get like the basic archer and the basic fighter. And that's it. And like a basic mage. That's all you get access to in these tutorial campaigns. How are you going to show new players? Oh my god, look how cool this game is. Look at all the cool things you can get. Look at all the strategy you can get in. I can get my first 3 buildings built in like the first week. And then I'm done building buildings. So half the game of building your structures has been obviously taken out through the tutorial campaign because they don't want to put too much, you know, too much on new players and have them try to understand too much. Just really bad designed decisions to do things like that. I mean, if you want to have the tutorial campaign, at least have one of the other campaigns unlocked where players can actually get in and start doing a normal campaign. You know, if you want to have these locked tier, I hate the locked tier. I'm not a fan of it. I think everything should be unlocked. If the player wants to purchase it and play, you know, one of the factions and he's not prepared for it, you know, that's just the risk he takes. You should, you know, when he clicks on it, it should say, you know, little message pop up. You should really play through the tutorial. This is a very hard game. If you're not a experienced Heroes of Might and Magic player, you will find it extremely difficult to understand what's going on, blah, 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 blah. You know, a little message. And if they hit OK, then they understand. All right, well, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, and it might be really hard for me to do it or whatever. But again, the tiered, the lock system and everything is really bad. Now, with that said, well, we'll come back to this. There is a lot of other stuff to do. There is, of course, multiplayer. You can get into a multiplayer game. So if my friend bought this, we could get in and play a multiplayer game. We'd have access to a bunch of stuff, and we'd be able to play. Now, we can play the standard. We can play a duel. We can play, you know, you can choose different maps all the way from very small all up to, like, gigantic size. So I mean, there's all kinds of different varieties. Unfortunately for Heroes of Might and Magic 6, and I'm not sure if it was in 5 or not, but I know it was in 4, the whole random generated map thing is, you can't just say create me a map. And again, why can't you just have a random map? Why do I have to play on these maps? Again, you're kind of dumbing down the game. You're taking some of the really cool features out. And of course, you're turning more and more people off. Again, custom game, I can play a skirmish, I can play a scenario. Of course, I only have a couple of the scenarios unlocked because, you know, you can't play scenarios you haven't unlocked. And duels. So, battle chosen randomly from a selection of maps corresponding to the environment. So if I want to play a Highlands map, it'll randomly choose a map or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, there's a lot of gameplay. There's certainly a ton of gameplay for this game. Unfortunately, you have to unlock a bunch of it to make it really shine. Now, with that said, as I mentioned, graphics, sound, interface, all that stuff is really good. And then also the way that, I guess, I don't know if this is a turn on or turn off for some people, but basically you have like an online, I'm going to call it like an online persona, which they call the Dynasty Online Profile. Keeps track of you, it keeps track of all your experience. Every time you play the game, every time you're in a mission, you're earning experience points. When your heroes earn 1,500 experience points, that experience points is applied to your online persona as well. And as you progress through, you unlock your online persona and have access to more and more things. In fact, as you play, one of the things you do is you gather... Where is it here now? No, that's not it. Here it is. Dynasty seals. So you're going to be generating, as you play the game, dynasty seals. And of course, dynasty seals will allow you to buy new things to add to your game. New heroes and new powers that you can unlock to add your game. Again, it kind of goes back to the tiered system where, okay, you bought the game and here's what you have, But there's all this other stuff, and the only way you get this stuff is to purchase it with Dynasty Steals by playing the game, instead of just, you know, giving everybody everything to begin with. So I don't know if that is such a great build model or not, but I guess that's for everyone to decide. But you can see here I could purchase this acclaimed leader. Each battle won without losing increases morale in the hero's army by 5 for the next combat. So it cost me 100 dynasty points. So if I wanted to purchase that, I could spend one of my 100 of my dynasty points to purchase that. Then I would have access to that power for my heroes. Here's another one: picking up an artifact or treasure on the adventure map increases luck by 15 in the main hero's army until the next combat. There you go. So really good you know, amount of stuff there. Unfortunately, you don't have access to it all in the beginning. This is stuff I don't have. This is obviously stuff I have. There is way more over here on the stuff that I have, just because when you buy the expansion packs, I think it automatically unlocks a bunch of the heroes and adds them to your side. But I mean, you see, I got 40,400. I've hardly spent any of these Dynasty Steals. So, I mean, I could probably buy everything on this side without even blinking an eye if I really wanted to. I just haven't spent the effort to do it. In fact, you know, let's do one. Here we go. Boom. There's a... You really want to spend 100? Sure, why not? I got a bazillion of them. Oh, sure. Yep. What's this one? What's this one give me? 200 gold per day. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Boom. Alright, so that's how that works. And again, some people might really like this because you're playing the game to earn things, and you're playing it makes you, you know, want to keep playing to unlock things. And you know, some people really like that. And I'm not saying if you like that, that's great, that's fine. I just don't think that's right. A lot of people out there are people that are going to be going, oh yeah, I really like to not have everything included in my game, and I would rather just, you know, unlock it in the game. So oh well. So let's look at the campaigns. There's, like I mentioned, custom games. There's multiplayer. Of course, there's your dynasty and all the information about your dynasty heroes. All your heroes here. I can create a new hero if I wanted to. And this gives me all the information about my heroes. One of the new things added in Heroes of Might Magic 6 is this kind of shadows and tiers system. Shadows is not evil, and tiers is not good, but it's kind of, think of tiers as like, I'm willing to sacrifice for myself for the betterment of everyone. And shadows is kind of the opposite in that I'm going to do what's best for me and screw everyone else. So you don't necessarily have to be good to worry about just yourself. And some of the spells you cast will align or make you go towards one affinity or the other. Let's see here if I have anybody I can show you. Probably not. Not sure why. Probably because I just don't play a lot of the skirmish. I haven't really played a lot of this game. In fact, if you look, I'm only on mission 2 here of the tutorial. And I'll tell you what, I am very upset with this mission. This whole thing is just, oh, it's utter BS. The whole mission, it's like, oh, go do this, and then you go do it, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we got to do this, and you go and do that, and then it's like, oh, we got to go fight this guy and kill him, and then you kill him, and it's like, oh, but then this guy does this. And it's like it never ends. It's just like keeps going on, and then like the big bad guy at the end is like so powerful, he just kills you instantaneously, no matter what you do. Because all this other stuff you had to do the whole thing. And I'm only on normal difficulty. If I was playing on hard, I mean, I just could not imagine how hard this scenario is. It's just incredibly maddening. I don't know how many people... I mean, this one's pretty normal and easy, the first one. It's, I would say, normal difficulty. But this one here is not normal difficulty. I don't know if it's what I'm doing or whatever. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and play this on easy. Just to show you basically how the game plays now. And kind of just give you an overview of how this game operates and stuff. And its biggest strengths, and weaknesses. So I'm going to play this on easy. I'm going to actually restart the map all the way back to the beginning again, which is really making me sad. Oh, I get some dynasty traits. So I can start with some wood. I get a tarot deck. I can start the game with extra gold, extra movement the first week. Now, I mean, seriously. You get 5 extra movement the first week, and that's it. Wow, that's just horrible. What's this one give me? Mana regeneration is increased by 4, and provides 200 gold per day. Oh, that's one of the ones I just bought, as a matter of fact. So some of these traits obviously only work on some of the factions, or maybe only because it's a tutorial. You only have access to some of them, but 250 gold a day is really good. I would much rather have that than, 5 extra movement for 7 days. So there we go. Again, nice cut screen, great lore, great details, really cool weapons, real cool items, real cool creatures, all kinds of really cool, interesting factions. Again, history, lore of the world really has a lot to go on. And then you get crap like this. I mean, the animations are okay, but it's just like, what is the purpose of this? Seriously, yes, you're awful. Yeah, voice acting is not my favorite. So blah. Alright, so, yes, Dynasty Weapons. We have a couple items here with our guys. Here are our heroes. We are dead in the middle here. Hopefully, since we're... Okay, thank you. We're getting some experience points. Alright, so, basically your hero is represented by this main icon on the strategic map. You're going to be moving it around. Obviously, there are a bunch of units that he is going to be in control of. Maybe, if I can get it to pop up. There we go. So right now we have, looks like 20 sentinels and 20 crossbow men. It's in his army. Here is our main town, which is, there it is. It's a mausoleum. It's a level 1 haven town. It's earning 500 per day. It doesn't have any fortifications. They haven't built any buildings this turn. There is no hero in the garrison. So you can click on this, and these are the buildings you start with, and what you're supposed to do is click on this, and you'll have a whole bunch of buildings here that you can, in most scenarios or whatever, you'll start with maybe 1 or 2 buildings, and what you're supposed to do is click on, there'll be a whole list of all kinds of buildings in Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. And obviously you can't unlock the Tier 2s and 3s and 4s until you unlock them here in Tier 1. And obviously, as you go down the tiers, you get better units, and you have all kinds of interesting things you can do. In this scenario, we can have access to the barracks, the loophole tower, the chapel of light, and the marketplace. And then later on we unlock 1 more building, I think. So you can only build or upgrade a building once per day. So that's all you can do. No matter how many resources you have, you can only upgrade or build 1 building per day. Again, so sad, so sad, so sad. And I will talk about this here for a few minutes. That the system was great 10 years ago, but really hasn't evolved much since then, and it really needs to. Alright, so we can upgrade. See the little area here? We can upgrade, and we will do this, and it's going to cost us 5 wood, 5 ore, no crystals, and 1,500. You can see our totals up here. So if we do that, we won't be able to purchase some of the other ones until we get some more wood, some more ore, and some more crystals. So we definitely want to make sure we get our resources. 5, 5, 6, 2. So you can see the amount of wood. We're short 1 wood at least. Fortunately for us, we'll probably be getting a lot of that stuff here in the beginning. So we're going to go ahead and purchase this. And you see a little building pop up there. We also have a recruit mechanism here. These are the recruits. So we can get all of our recruits by hitting this button and recruiting them. And We can just drag them down here. If they're on this top line, they are part of the defensive structure. If they're on this line and there's a hero, then they're going out with the hero. So right now we're leaving our town completely defenseless, which is what we normally do because, you know, there's not too much in the beginning here of danger. So we got an ore pit over here. It's going to provide us 2 ore per day, but you can see it's being guarded by an army of creatures. So we can go fight them. There's a threat level. Sometimes these are pretty accurate. Sometimes they're a little off. You can see it says trivial. We should be able to beat these guys pretty handily. So we can go after the ore, which will supply us extra ore every day. We don't have wood here yet, but there's a guy over here that's standing next to some 1 wood, 400 gold, and a treasure chest. There's some wood back here we can go after, a campfire. There's all kinds of stuff to explore around and see. Here's a flag, all kinds of great things. So we're just going to, here's a guy here. Ghouls, which is hiding a 4-leaf clover, which is like a magic item, and a treasure chest. So we'll clear out this area over here. It's trivial. So we'll go over there and fight him. Boom. Creatures for thirst of glory wish to join, so we can refuse and attack them. Or we can refuse and just they run away. We can attack them, or we can accept them into our army. Of course, duh, we will accept them. Because this game is all about getting as much experience, or as many units as you possibly can with the highest level hero you can, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So we can have 2,000 gold, or we can get 1,500 experience points. If I choose 1,500 experience points, what I want you to do is watch up here in the corner. Not only did my hero get it, but my online persona also got that as well. So there we go. And see, if I had 5 extra movement, which was one of the choices I could have gotten, I could have maybe moved another, you know, from where he's standing to maybe over here. Yeah, I don't think that was really a... Oops. There we go. All right.
Burns villages. Says orcs must go.
Not while I'm Duke. Give me time to fortify this castle. Then we'll hunt wolfheads together.
Good. Slava and Kroll ride to battle like old times. Break many wolf skulls, also like old times.
Okay, I wanted you guys to hear that. Hopefully you guys at home were able to hear that. But that is the voice acting. I'm not a big fan of most of the cut screens. I wish they would just do away with them and get rid of the voice acting. If you want to have text pop up and what they're talking about, that's fine. If somebody wants to read it or have, you know, decent voice acting or whatever. But alright, so now we're on day 2. If I go back into my town by double clicking on it, you can see that I can now upgrade another building. So we will this is a 5-5 and this is a 5-5. So I guess we'll do this. Alright, we'll upgrade to get the sisters. Now, of course, since we just bought that building, we can go in and notice, oh, look, there's 7 sisters. So, as I mentioned, this is on a weekly cycle. In fact, you can see day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And after the week goes by, and you start your new week, is when all of your buildings produce your units. It's a little... there's some, I guess there's some strategic elements for that, because there is, you know, okay, I got to rush to try and get all my buildings and everything built, so when the end of the week comes, then I can get as many units as possible. But I mean, if you're only building a couple buildings, it doesn't really matter, because after about 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to have all your buildings built, you're going to have all your upgrades. You know, especially in a tutorial scenario when you only have access to like 4 buildings. So you'll see I'll have most of these built here very soon. And then, you know, what good are all these extra resources and having a weekly cycle? It's a little weird. Okay, anyways, I can now bring my unit actually back into the town and pick up these sisters. But, you know, let's do it. Yo, come back. we'll go ahead and recruit these guys and add them to our army. There you go. Alright, since we're right here by the castle. If we weren't by the castle, it wouldn't come. And now we'll come over here and fight these guys. Okay, these guys are willing to fight. So we can attack or we can retreat. There's 5 of them. 5 and 5. So we'll attack. So here's the here's the tactical part of combat. It's like a chessboard here with grids. You can see how far you can move. Ranged units cannot move and shoot. They can only shoot or move. Melee units can move and shoot. Your hero is off the board. He doesn't really participate in the board, in the battle, other than he can cast spells on all your units that are in the battle. So, for example, we have this Flawless Assault, which makes our unit do automatic max damage for 2 turns. I can then assign that to my crossbowmen, and he will do maximum amount of damage when he shoots. And you can see we'll kill all 5 of these guys. Poof, dead. Goodbye. Now it's this guy's turn. He shot and did 7 points of damage. You just stay behind the rock. We can defend. You can wait. You can... I think that's about besides special abilities, she doesn't have any special abilities. We can right click on the unit. So this is the way the game is done. You can see there are 7 of them in this group. So there are 7 of them. Each of the units has 17 hit points. So if you multiply 7 by 17, you get us whatever number it is. If I was to say take 10 points of damage, one of these units would have 10 points. 7. I would say I just took 7 points of damage. That's what I just did. 7 points comes off of one of the units, and you can see that unit has 10 points left. And then we have, the rest of the amount. So if I was to take, say, another, let's just make it easy. Say I took another attack that did 20 points of damage. This unit would die. Boom. So there wouldn't be 17 anymore, there'd be 16. And that 16th unit would lose an extra 10 points off of his hit points as well. There is attack value, a might attack value, a magic attack value, their movement, any of their special abilities, their might defense, their magic defense, their luck, morale is over here, luck, initiative, and of course their hit points, and of course if they have any creature can shoot without any penalties, and then any spells that are affecting them, and of course her special abilities. So with her, I'm just going to go ahead and defend. This guy, we're just going to move him in front of here. So I just click on him and move him. And the reason I would do that is because... Oh, we lost one. So she took another 6 points of damage. Oh, look at that. He did some more damage. Sometimes you get lucky and get an extra attack. So this guy here, if we look at him, he's got a little special ability there that's shielded. Nope, that's not the one I'm looking at. It might be this one. Shield Guard. Yep, when an enemy attacks an adjacent friendly stack, 35% of the damage is dealt to the Sentinel instead, with 25 of it being reduced. So it'll do a little protection and damage it. But we're going to end up killing this guy. We're going to lose one of our shield maidens over here, which is kind of sad. The guy got a couple attacks he shouldn't have. You can restart and refine it if you want to, but we're not going to bother with that nonsense. And now, yes, each area of the map is controlled by a city or fort. As long as you own the city or fort, you occupy all the mines within that area.
Even as a mausoleum, it has seen better days. Come on. Let's fix this place up.
Capture the enemy fort. Yay. Okay, so we'll pick up that. Come down here and grab this wood. Oh, don't have enough movement points. Did we build for the day? Already built this turn. Okay, yep. So we're going on to the next turn. So at the top here we have our 3 resources. Wood, ore, crystals, gold. You use all these to build your buildings in your town. Some of them, obviously wood, ore, and crystals and money you can find as you're exploring around on the map. So we'll pick up the wood because it looks like we definitely need wood. And let's see what we got here. We got a pretty easy fight with this guy. Looks like he's got some crystals there and a treasure chest. Now, difference between this game and other previous games, there's only 3 resources. There used to be, I think, up to 10 resources back in Heroes of Might and Magic 3. And it was kind of a little more interesting because you needed, you know, sand and water to build, you know, certain buildings. Or, you know, some factions needed, like, I'm just trying to remember, iron, and other factions needed access to gems, I think. Or gems were specifically, I think, like for upgrading your mage towers and stuff like that. So obviously, if you're playing on the mini-map and you can get those mines and have access to them and deny them to your opponents, makes you a little bit easier and stronger. Unfortunately for this, it's kind of simplistic in that 3, 8, and 2. Not only that, but you have access to a marketplace. So if I have a ton of ore, I could turn that in for some wood or crystals or whatever. So it makes building buildings a little bit too easy, in my impression, or my opinion. What do we have back here? Just a little bit more goodies. All right, let's go get these goodies first. So every time I guess the biggest thing with this is every time I say something positive and wonderful about this series and this game, I then have to talk about the negatives, and that's pretty sad. All right, so we've now can upgrade this. If we had enough wood, we could upgrade our fortifications, which is part of our quest, I believe. In the meantime, though, we could upgrade our... No, we can't upgrade them, sorry. We need wood to upgrade our garrison. So we're just, looking for wood. Well, look at this. We found some wood. So you can build anytime during the day. So you can do all your exploration around. Again, look up here. We gain some experience points. As our heroes level up, we level up as well. Now we're going to start heading back to the front of the castle here. And now we should be able to build either our fortification or our upgrade. Now this is kind of interesting. We could do one or the other. But since I think part of our quest is to do this, we should probably do that first. There we go. Oh, and another wonderful cutscene. Of course I can skip it, but again, I just want to sigh and...
Good. No wolf puppies will take the castle while I'm gone. Now it's time to take back my duchy.
And we've unlocked the objective down here, thank God. Okay, so it is now day 4, and we're going to end this day. It's going to be day 5, 6, 7. Again, day 7 is the last time you'll get to build anything for the week, and obviously we need some more wood there. Here's a marketplace we could build. Not sure it's worth it. Not sure it is worth it, to tell you the truth. We don't need... I mean, we need 5 wood. And normally it's like a 5-to-1 ratio. So we'd need like 20 ore to get 5 wood. Well, we don't have 20 ore. So we might as well keep looking around the map and see if we find anything. So what you want to do is you want to be near your... You want to have access to your castle at the beginning of day 1. So if I am way down here when it turns to day 1, I've got to run all the way back to my castle, get my units, and then run all the way back down here. And of course, by then it's like day 3 or 4 again. So you want to make sure you're by your castle by day 1. And that way you can recruit everybody and get all the way down here. And then hopefully down here will be another castle or something that you can recruit. So we are at day, what are we on? 2, 4, 5. So we don't want to venture too far south because we're just going to have to come running back up here. Now, what do we got here? Trivial. Okay, we'll go take out these guys really quick. Then we'll bring this episode to close. Looks like they're going to fight. So we will attack them. Good looking maps. You can rotate the maps. You can obviously zoom in and zoom out. All kinds of really cool things. I like the default view myself. So I just leave it on this. Here's the initiative track over here. Basically, this is whose current turn is, whose this will be next. Then it'll be this person, and then it'll be that, and etc., etc. Your hero can only cast one spell during a turn, so once per turn. So we're going to cast our Flawless Assault again. A spell doesn't necessarily have to be a spell. In this case, he is using a Might Power, I guess is a better way to put it. It is not a spell. Because obviously this is Might and Magic. So they separate the two. You are a Might character, you're a Magic character. You can be a combo. But Magic uses, Magic, and Might uses Might. So he is a Might hero. In fact, if we, well, I'll look at him when we get to the map. Anyways, 2, 3, we might as well kill the 3. And down he goes. Hey! And now this guy's going to take forever to get over to us. He's going to die because by the time he gets over to us, our archer's going to get him up again here and just totally take him out. In fact, if we look here, you'll look and it is... You see his mana is 40 of 40. He's not using spells because he doesn't use spells. He uses might. He inspires him through words and, objects and stuff like that as opposed to magic. So we could do a rush, just stand our ground or whatever. We only have access to the spells right now. But here we go. Boom, dead. We win. We didn't lose anybody. That's pretty much how that goes. Yay for being on easy because I'm so sick of this encounter, this tutorial mission. I just want to get it over with. Now we'll have access to some more experience. Again, look up here. We gain some more experience points for ourselves as well as our hero. Some money and some wood. Obviously that's good. And we found a 4-leaf clover. And we're going to look at our hero and show you what that means. We have access to a 4-leaf clover now, which gives us +4 to our destiny. Remember what our destiny is? That's our online persona. Not sure exactly what the +4 does for us, but okay. Sure. Unless destiny isn't a term they also use in here. Anyways, if we look, you will notice our might power. Our magic power. What I was looking for is... Here we are. So there is 3 different categories we have access to. The might abilities, the magic abilities, and your special faction and class powers. So this is a special little bar that fills up over there we haven't really even talked about. But you will notice here is the magic and here's the might. Notice all of the things we've used so far are in here somewhere, I bet. Here they are. So we got this one, we got this one, we got this one, and we got this one. And of course they have level 1, level 2, and level 3. You have to be at least 5th level before you can upgrade to this. And you have to be, I'm not sure, I think 10th, 15th level to upgrade to that. So we can upgrade this. What level are we actually? That's a good question. We are a 5th level knight. Okay. So we will upgrade something cool. Or we can get a new power. Let's look at what else we have. Toughness increases the maximum health of friendly creatures by 3%. Alright, so gives everyone +3% health in our army. Awesome. Alright folks, so that's going to be a wrap up for our basic introductory to Heroes of Might and Magic. We're going to continue. I'm going to do a couple more episodes here. We're going to continue our investigation. I'm going to talk about my thoughts and views of it. And I think I've got a pretty good understanding of this game. I've got, like I said, probably more hours in Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and 4 than probably any other game that I've ever owned in my entire lifetime. The series has been great. I just think it needs to keep going and moving and evolving and going forward before it's kind of like Call of Duty that keeps sending out games every year that's basically the same game or with new missions, new weapon, a couple new weapons, add on a few what was it this year? Jetpacks was the new thing, and we're gonna put jetpacks in everybody, and it's a brand new game. Boom, done. It's kind of what they're doing in this, and not even that much actually. So we'll see. In fact, they're taking, like I mentioned, they're already taking some of the things away. We will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, leave your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions below. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.